Hi, beautiful people. Thank you for stopping by today. If you're new here, thank you. My name is Tammy. How is everyone doing? Hope you are all doing good. Well, for me, it's one of those chill, relaxed day. More like I woke up like this kind of day. We've been having extreme weather this week. It's really been cold. We had like the weather warning this week. The real feel for today is about minus 39. Let me just show you guys what outside my window looks like. See this? It's not really snowing terribly, but it's really cold. Trying to stay warm as much as I can. Today's video is not about me, guys. We have something important to talk about, and let's get on with it. Stay tuned. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the step-by-step guide to apply for your Canadian PR. So if you've been finding it challenging, you don't know where to start, say no more, your girl got you covered. For those who are students, don't worry, I have an upcoming video for you, but this video is for those who are coming to the Federal Skilled Worker Program. So this is a checklist of the things that you need to do for your application. The first thing is to find your NOC, the National Occupation Classification, and to get your educational credential assessment, to take the English and or French test, check your eligibility to the express entry, calculate your CRS, your CRS score, which is the comprehensive ranking system, and then enter into the express entry pool, and then receive your invitation to apply. Once you get that invitation to apply, the next steps will be to have your document checklist and do the application. And then after that, you will get acknowledgement of receipts. You will be asked to come for your biometrics. And once you get that visa, the next thing is preparing to come into Canada. For this video, we're going to be talking about step 1 to step 6 because we want to get you to apply. So the first thing on that checklist, as we saw, is the National Occupation Classification. This is a system of classifying all job occupations in the Canadian market. The classification type is a skill type 0, skill type A, B, C, and D. But if you're coming to the Federal Skilled Worker Program, you have to either fall into skill 0, A, or B. So guys, like I said, the first thing we need to do is to find your NOC, your National Occupation Classification. Please pardon me if the audio or the video in this part is not very good. I'm using my system and I'm not expecting it to be the best. Okay guys, so once you are checking for the NOC, once you type in NOC, it would bring up a list of websites. If it does bring this one up, that's fine. So you can go through this. Just like I said earlier, skill type 0 falls under restaurant managers, shore captains. It's giving you a list. The website here, the Canada.ca website, is giving you a list of those occupations. Skill A, doctors, architects. Skill B says, let me just put this to the side so I can see the screen properly. So skill B is for technical jobs and skilled trade jobs, and usually call for college diploma or training. So it just gives you a list of all that. And then if you come down here, you can see where it says, if you want to come to Canada as a skilled immigrant, express entry, your job and the work you have done in the past must be skill 0, A, or B to use express entry. And this is all the other ones, the skilled federal trades and the Canadian experience class. We can come down here and we can click on NOC website. It takes us to this website. Now you can put in, and then just here it says search by NOC code. So if you already know your code, you can just search that. But I'm going to be searching by title, say for instance, geologist. Once I do this, it's going to bring up a list of job titles. Just beside the job title, you can see where it shows the code 2113. You want to take note of that as well. And under the skill level, it says skill level A. So we can click on that. So if I click on this, it would tell you the job descriptions for a geologist. If you go down here, it also breaks it down as well. And you can look through this and find out exactly what your job description is. If you look at the job description, you'll be able to see how your job type is classified under the Canadian NOC, and you'd pick the right number and the right one for you. Okay, let's use another one. Let's say you want to check for banking. You want to know if banking is under skill A or skill B or skill 0.
because you're applying for the federal skilled worker, and you would put in banking here and you would say search. It would bring up a list of jobs that are classified under that title. Here it says senior manager, financial communications and other business services, and it's 0013. You go through this list and find out which one has the job description for you. And you can also see the skill level here. This is A as well. And under financial sales representatives, it says B. Let's also try a third one. Let's say you're into customer service and you want to know what skill level that is. So you would put in customer service, and then you would say search. Once you do that, it brings up a list of customer service jobs. Say, for instance, this is cashier, other customer services information, services and representatives. You would also look at the skill level as well. Here is AA. This one says B. Retail salesperson is under C. But we know that we want to be under skill 0, A or B. And then you would go through them one at a time. So let's pick this one that says B, retail sales supervisor. You would click on it, you would check. You can also go ahead to check the job description, and you can also see other titles just in case the first one doesn't match to what you do. You can look down here and also see other examples. Down here as well is main duties and employment requirements. So if, for instance, you classify yourself, say, as a customer service, but under here, what you know you really do is a supervisor, you will then know that you can come on that, you can pick the 6211 because it falls into your job description. And guys, that is how you would go about checking for the NOC.
The second step after the NOC is the educational credential assessment. This is where you assess your educational qualification to give you the Canadian equivalent. Now, there are organizations like WES that can help with that. So
the next step will be to get your educational qualification assessment, which I said you can do through WES. If you just go to the website and put in WES, I don't know of any other organization that do the Canadian credential assessment, but I know that there are a few others. So if you come here to the website, so wes.org, once you click on it, different. So the menu will tell you, the menu will help you. There's also tools and advice. So once you come here, it will give you the list of the things that they do. If you need to apply, if you already have an account with them, you can go in and sign in and see your profile. If you don't have an account, the first thing that you would need to do when you come here is, say, for instance, sign in. And if you say sign in and you don't have an account, you would come here to create your account. And where will you use your evaluations? So Canada. And it would go down to give you a step-by-step of what you need to do. So you want the WES Standard Education if you're using it for the higher or continuing education. If you're using it for immigration processes, it states it here. And then if you want to go through, this one says for immigration purposes, select the educational credential assessment for the agri-food immigration pilot. I think this one is for the agri-food immigration pilot. So you can say ECA application for IRCC because we're doing the Canadian immigration process, and you would create your profile. Once you go through this step, let me put this here. So once you go through this step to create your profile, it would give you a checklist of the documents that you need to upload. And once you do that, it would assess it. You can always come back to this website, sign into your profile and see your assessment. They're also going to send it to you by email. And if you want it to be sent to you by post, they will also do that. So this is how you would go about doing your education credential assessment.
The third step will be to take the English test or the French test. For the English test, you can do the IELTS, and then the French test, I think, is called the TEF. I don't know much about the French test, but I can talk about the English test. The English test has 4 parts: the listening, the writing, the speaking, and the reading. Now guys, for each of this session of this test, my advice will be that you have a good band score. So there's something called the band score. I think the score is between 0 to 9 is the band score. For each of these tests, you want to have a band score of at least 8.0 for each one, because the higher the scores for each of these sessions, the better your CRS score, which we're going to talk about later. Now guys, I would say for your listening, have at least 7.5 to 8.0. In fact, 8.0 or 9. Like just get the highest score if you can. Because for listening, you will not be able to remark it. It's hard to call this word. For the IELTS, you'll not be able to remark the listening, but you can remark the reading and the writing. I think the speaking is recorded, so if you want that to be remarked or you want to retake it, you can always do that.
The next one we talked about is taking the English tests. Now, I would just come in here simply and I say IELTS, and it would take me to the British Council website. The British Council website is the organization that administers the IELTS. So the one we want to take is the general training one, because this is for those who are looking to immigrate. The academic one is for those who are looking to go to a different country for university or postgraduate level. And once you come here, book, you can choose the country where you want to take it in and you would book for the test. And I think depending on where you are, I think different countries have British Council. You can also go there and apply in person if you don't want to apply online. But guys, this is the one you would take. Just like I said, it's important that you study for this exam, because you need to get a high score that would affect your CRS.
The next step is calculating your CRS score, and this is the comprehensive ranking system out of 1,200. CRS score is affected by things like your age, your educational qualification, if you have Canadian work experience or your work experience, and your language proficiency, which is where your IELTS is important. The higher your age bracket, the lesser your score. If you have, like, say, a master's degree, you would have a higher score on that education. If you have a good IELTS score, God, I can't say that word. If you have a good, okay, let's just say test of English. So if you have a good test of English score, you would have a higher score. This is why I said before that your test of English is really important. Now, if you also have your work experience, if you have 3 years of work experience or more, it would contribute to a higher score for you. If you have siblings who live in Canada, that is also about, I think, 15 marks, 15 points. If you have also a spouse who has a partner who has also written IELTS, who also has some work experience, that can also add to your score as well. And you can also get additional points from the provincial nomination. So guys, let's get into how these scores are important and how we can calculate them. So once you know your CRS, you'll be able to know where you stand.
So I'm going to put step 4 and step 5 together. So there are people who, before they even do anything, they go first to step 5, which is to calculate their CRS score. So if you come in here and you do CRS, this is taking me, this is not what I want. Let me close this and let's do this again. So if you put CRS score, so it would bring you to this website. And once you go down this website, you can calculate what your CRS score would be. So see here where it says, so now let's do this together by calculating your CRS score. So what is your marital status? Say you are married, and it would ask you, is your spouse a common law partner or citizen? Is your spouse or common law partner a citizen or permanent resident of Canada? If they are not, you would say no. And then will your spouse or common law partner come with you to Canada? If they are, you would say yes. And then it would ask you how old you are. And let's say you are 28. And it would ask you your level of education. And you would go ahead to say, okay, I have a master's degree. And it was asking you, have you earned a Canadian degree, diploma, or certificate? If you have not, you would say no. And it would also ask you, it would ask you if you've taken the test of English or the test of French, and if your result is less than 2 years. I didn't say this earlier, guys, but for your test of English, you need it to be less than 2 years. So if it's more than 2 years, it's expired and you can't use it. So you would say Yes, it's less than 2 years. And it would ask you which language test did you take. So if you're taking the French one, I think is it CEF or the TFC. I'm not sure what the CLPIP is. I think you take this one in Canada, but let's go for IELTS. And now it's going to ask you the scores for each of these ones, which is why I said each band score is important. So for speaking, let's say you got 7.5 to 9.0, listening, the same thing, reading, the same thing, writing, also a very high band score. And it will ask you, do you have other language tests? No, not applicable. I don't have any other one. And then it will come here and ask you for your work experience. And here you can see, said, if you aren't sure, you can find it. You can go to the NOC website and find it, which we've already done. And we would come here and it would say, what is your work experience? So say you have 4 years of work experience. And then it would come to the next question. In the last 10 years, how many years of foreign work experience do you have? If you don't have any foreign work experience, you would say none or less than 1 year. And it would ask you, do you have a certificate of qualification from a Canadian province or body? No, I don't. So this additional point is asking you if you have a job offer from a Canadian company. No, I don't. And then the next thing is, do you have a nomination certificate from a province or territory? No, I don't. We're just trying to find out what my score would be. And it's asking you, do you have your spouse or common law partner or at least one brother or sister who is living in Canada? So if you do, you would say yes, because that adds points to you as well. And it would say, what is the highest level of education for your spouse or common law partner? So if your spouse also has a master's, you would put that as well. And it would say, in the last 10 years, how many years of skilled work experience in Canada does your spouse or common law partner have? If your partner does not have a Canadian experience, you would say none. Okay, let's say your partner has 3 years of experience. You would say 3 years of experience. Did your spouse or common law partner take a test of English? If they did, IELTS, I would advise that you all take it. So let's say your spouse also had very good scores like you would put that in as well. And then once you're done with this step, you would say calculate your score. So your overall score here is 520, which is very good. And if you look here, it breaks it down for you. So it says your age gave you 100 points. Your level of education is 126. The official language skill also gave you 128. Your Canadian work experience gave you 63. And your spouse also contributed 38. Guys, I'll say it's always best that if you're younger in age, and if you're married and you're younger in age, you should be the one to apply, because the younger the age, the more the score that you have. And then skills transferability, here it gave you 50 points. So additional points of a sibling in Canada is 15, and you have a grand total of 520. So this is how important your test of English is and your level of education, those things, or if you have a sibling in Canada, those things add more points to you. So once you come here and you say, okay, I have a good point, you're already weighing what your score is once you enter into the poll, and you already likely know, like, okay, depending on the round that they are calling people between 420 to 520, you already know that you'll be called. So this is why it's important that you check your CRS score.
The higher your CRS score, the better your chance of being invited to apply for the express entry. Once you know your NOC, you've done your educational credential assessment, you've taken your IELTS, and you've been able to calculate your CRS score, and then you can get into the express entry pool. So once you know all this, you then create your profile and wait for the invitation to apply.
So once you're done with the CRS score, you would go into the express entry pool. Apply express entry. Okay. So this here, it's saying submit an express entry profile. And once you come to this website, the good thing is that it's also going to be asking you, it's also going to be taking you to things like how rank yourself, if you're eligible. It would also give you those steps as well. So you would say, create or sign into your account if you have one. If you don't have one, you would don't have an account, you would register and create your account. If you say register, it can ask you to register with a GC key or register with a signing partner. You can also go through this you can also read through here to see what it's asking about. I would say register with a GC key, and you will create a username and a password. You would create a username, password, and then you would continue. And once you create that profile, it would ask you for those things, the steps that we've gone through. You put that in your test of English and all that, and it would give you your score. Once it gives you the score, you just know that at this point you're waiting for the invitation to apply.
Now guys, just like I said, in the part 2 of this video, we'll talk about when you have been invited to apply and what you need to do, the documents checklist, and how to go through the process smoothly. So guys, this is it for today. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have questions, I am more than happy to answer them. And also, if you've gone through this process, please leave a comment in the comment section of any advice or tips that can help people that are looking to go through these steps as well. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay blessed. Bye.